Are you ready to start making some Valentine's decor? Well, stay tuned. Hi, my name is Leslie and welcome to Happy Tuesday, where we do crafts and DIY and home decor and more. Today I have for you 5 super cute and very budget-friendly DIYs to add to your Valentine's Day decor. Now, if you stick around to the very end, I'll give you a hint on one of the projects that we're going to be doing next week. So, let's get started. Here's a quick look at the 5 projects that we're going to be working on today, and here is project number 1. I just think it's so adorable. So you will need one of these mason jar decor pieces, some wooden hearts, and some paint. Now, first thing I'm going to do is take off all the little embellishment pieces off of this, the twine, which I'll set aside and use on a later project, and then this little metal piece, and then I am going to remove all of this paper. It was stuck pretty good, so I ended up just taking my hand sander and sanding it down, and I didn't bother to bore you with all that. And then I just took a good coat of white chalk paint and painted the entire front one good coat and the sides, because I didn't want the green sides that were on there from the fall decor that this piece was originally. And once I get this whole thing painted, I will let that dry, and while that dries, I will go ahead and start painting my little hearts. Now, these wooden hearts, you'll notice, look old, and that's because they are. It was actually something I found in my craft stash that my mom had bought me years and years ago, and I finally pulled them out and decided to use them. So I'm going to pick 3 different hearts, and I just wanted to have some good ones. And then I am using this red acrylic paint. I used up all my red chalk paint at Christmas and couldn't find any more to replace it yet. So acrylic paint is good, but it usually requires more than 1 coat if you want full coverage. So I'm going to give 2 of these a good coat, or 2 or 3 of the red acrylic paint, and then I am going to paint this one pink. Now, I like to use my handy dandy ink pad and this is brown, I bought it at Hobby Lobby, to distress my edges on this MDF board that you get at the Dollar Tree. I don't like the way it roughs up the edges if you sand them down, but I am going to sand down the little hearts and give them a nice little rustic appearance on the edges. And I'm going to sand down all 3, and I like to use my heavy-duty nail file. I think I have really good control, and it goes really easy, and the nail files I think last a lot longer than the little sanding sponges that they have at the Dollar Tree. So I buy these in bulk on Temu and use them a lot, not just as nail files. So I'm going to go ahead and get that last one rusticed up, and then I am going to get my vinyl that I've pre-prepared over there and get that ready to put on here. Now, I like to use my Cricut with the vinyl and personalize how the text looks. You could use any cutting machine you have with vinyl if you want to go that route, or you could use letter and number stickers from the Dollar Tree or the hobby store, or you could even handwrite it on there if you wanted. I just happen to like the way this vinyl looks, so I'm going to weed all the pieces out of the letters, and then I like to use this contact paper, clear contact paper that I buy at the Dollar Tree. It's sticky enough for the vinyl, but not too sticky to tear off my paint, and it allows me to use it several different times. So I think that's a really budget-friendly way of using my vinyl transfer tape.
Once I've got that all stuck down where I want it, I'm going to use my hot glue gun and glue down my hearts, and then we'll start with the embellishments. So that you'll notice over to the side I've got that big stack of ribbon. I bought that on clearance at Michael's, and I glued back down my metal piece, and then I'm going to cut some of this kind of neutral Christmas ribbon down and wrap that around the top of the mason jar, and then I will take the red and white twisted twine. It's kind of stiffer than twine, but it came with that pack of clearance Christmas stuff, and I'm going to create a little bow on there, and then this will be finished off. I just think it turned out adorable, and it looks super cute on my tiered tray. And that will bring us to project number 2. I just love this one. So I am going to use this little blank that I bought at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take off the twine and set that aside to use on something else, and take off the sticker on the back side. And I didn't like the way that wood was going to look with my puzzle pieces, and so I pulled out my Waverly white chalk paint, and I'm going to give it a good coat. I love that you can just use one good coat and that'll cover it up. So we're going to go ahead and get that done, and then you'll notice over there I have my antique wax, and I'm going to run that around the edges to give it more of a stained frame look. After I got that all painted, I decided I wanted to give it a little bit more shiplap look, so I took out a piece of this leftover paint stir stick. I thought it was about the right size, and I just measured that off, and then I took my finger and rubbed on the pencil, but it wasn't rubbing off like I wanted it to, and so then I tried using my paint dauber, my finger dauber, with that ink pad, and I still wasn't getting it off the way I wanted it to look. So I just took my eraser and erased some of it off, and now I'm going to grab my finger dauber with some of this brown ink, and I'm going to give it a nice little shiplappy look, and I'll just play with that until it looks like the way I want it to. Once that's all done, then I'll pull out my puzzle pieces, enough to make a heart. Now, I like to use the one with the open sides and not the edge ones. And this is left over from a bag of puzzle pieces that I used in the fall on one of my fall decor items. And I just keep these extra, don't belong to anything puzzle pieces for just such projects. Now I started painting the first one, and if you'll notice, I'm going to end up with paint all over me if I continue to do it this way. So the old adage, work harder and not smarter, or smarter and not harder. So I pull out some painter's tape, and I'm going to stick all my puzzle pieces to the painter's tape, and that will make it easier to paint them all. And then I will give them all a good couple of coats. I think it actually required 4 coats with that red acrylic paint. So I'm going to just give them all a good coat of paint and let those dry, and then we will be ready to move on to the next step. After that was all dry, I decided that we needed a festive little hanger, and so once again I'm going into that 6-pack of clearance Christmas ribbon from Michael's, and I'm going to create a little hanger. And I just run the ribbon through the holes where the twine was, and then I will tie them in a bow at the top, and I just think that looks super cute. Then we will trim off the ends at an angle, and that part will be done. And now we're going to grab that vinyl that we created, and it says love you to pieces. And so we are going to get the vinyl weeded and you're ready to go on there, and then I'm going to set the top so that I know where I am going to place my puzzle pieces into the heart shape. And I'll go ahead and get all of this weeded so it'll be ready when I'm ready for it. And oops, that O just wanted to fly off wherever it wanted to go. That's the cool thing about vinyl is, you can kind of use it like just sticker letters and be able to place it later if you need to, or move it around. So we'll get this all weeded, and I apologize for y'all having to look at the top of my head so many times. I focused my camera so that it wasn't looking so far away from the project, and didn't realize how many times my head ended up into it until I got ready to edit this. So we're gonna use some of that contact paper, clear contact paper from Dollar Tree as our transfer tape, and get the love centered on there, and then we'll be ready to start placing puzzle pieces. Now I've got that in the shape of the heart that I want, and I'm going to place the U, and then I'm going to get the two pieces set and ready to go, and then we'll just glue the puzzle pieces on so that is all stable and not moving when we get ready to put in our two pieces. Again, if you don't have a cutting machine or you want to do something different, you can either hand write this in or use sticker letters and embellishments. But I just think this was so cute, and I just love it, and it will make a great addition to my Valentine's decor.
If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload a video. Comment the word of the day below, which today is kisses.
And that will bring us to project number 3, my little kisses box. Actually, it's a kisses stand. So I'm going to take some of these large craft sticks. These are actually paint stir sticks that I got from Hobby Lobby. No, from Home Depot. And they come in this packet, and then I save all my little scraps because you never know when you're going to need them. So I'm going to use 3 of the craft sticks, and I'm going to cut off the rounded edges and cut them down to size. And we are placing these inside one of those little wooden crates from the Dollar Tree. Now this is the project that I referred to last week at the end of the video. So make sure that you stick around to the end, and I'll give you a hint on one of next week's projects. So we're going to use some more of that red acrylic paint, and we're going to paint the stir sticks, and we're going to paint this crate. And I decided to paint mine both inside and out. That way if the kisses get eaten up, it still looks like it's a complete project. And then we'll get started with a little bit of our assembly. We're going to glue these base sticks with some hot glue inside the crate, and then we will paint our little heart that you see laying there to the side with some white chalk paint. And then while that is drying, we're going to take a white paint marker and I am going to write the word kisses on top of our little sign, and I freehand wrote those, and then I added some little dots on the corners and ends just to give it a little bit more whimsy. And then I will take that and glue it onto the top of our stand. Once that's all secure, then we're going to take our red paint marker and we are going to paint some stitching around our little white heart and then put on it 5 cents. If you don't have a paint marker, this could also be done with some of that acrylic paint and a very fine paintbrush, or you could even use a red Sharpie. Now it's ready for the final touches. So we're going to glue our heart on there, and then I'm going to take some of this cotton string and I'm going to cut a length and then double knot the end so that my glue has something to hold on to. And then I'm going to take some of this felt and cut 3 hearts, 1 pink, 1 red, 1 white. Now it's easiest to cut a heart and make sure that it ends up the same on both sides by folding your piece over, and then you're essentially cutting half. And then I'll take my hot glue and glue that on and glue the twine right onto the sign, and we are complete. Isn't this adorable? Full disclosure, those are candy cane kisses left over from Christmas, but it matches the red and white theme. And that will bring us to project number 4. This is so cute on my tiered tray. So we're going to use one of these picket fence signs that they have at the Dollar Tree, and I want to use the back side so that it looks like a fence and with the fence posts. And so I'm going to take off the twine and all the little staples that are holding it in and file that down so it's all smooth, and then we will get ready to cut out little pieces out of, this is 60-pound cardstock, and this is going to be for my little welcome sign. Now you'll notice off to the right you see a silicone heart mold that I actually filled with hot glue, and I was going to use those as the hearts, and then I didn't like the way it looked. So you'll see what I do in a minute. So I'm going to take some of that red and white wrapped twine that I got from the 6-pack at Michael's on clearance from Christmas, and I'm going to put my little welcome banner glued on there with hot glue onto that, and then take my white chalk paint and give my little fence post a good coat of the chalk paint, and then I'll go back in a minute and I will distress it, but I forgot to video that part for you. You'll notice in the final reveal that you can see that it's distressed, or you could just, give it a lesser thick coat of white chalk paint when you paint it, and kind of let it distress off that way. That way it gives that kind of whitewashed fence appearance. I actually let this project sit a couple of days on my table trying to figure out how I wanted to finish this, and I made a trip to Dollar Tree and I found these adorable hearts. So I'm going to use them in this project and the next one. And so now I've decided that my little welcome sign just needs a little bit more embellishment, and so I'm going to take my red paint marker and I'm going to give those little banner pieces some red stitching along the edges to kind of finish them off. And here you can see it just gives it that final little touch. And then I will glue the ends. They were starting to fray just a little bit, and that way when I stick it onto my sign I don't have to worry about it looking raggedy. And we'll glue those right onto that fence post. And then we will take our hearts and get those glued on. And then it just needs one more final embellishment, and I'll take some of that twine left over from one of the other projects, and we will make a little bow out of it and glue it on that natural looking heart, and this project will be complete. So you can see the little whitewashed appearance that it has, and I just think it looks so cute. And that will bring us to our final project, project number 5. Now I took an old frame with a picture in it that I really didn't care for. I bought this on clearance, I believe, at Hobby Lobby for a couple of bucks, and I'm going to take off all the hardware and get it ready. Now I went and picked up some sticks, twigs from my yard, and I'm going to cut those down so that they fit inside that frame, and then we will glue those down using our high temp hot glue, and I like the Gorilla Glue for this. Once I've got those all stuck in, then I'm going to grab that package of hearts again, and we are going to use all of these hearts. And I picked some different pieces of fabric to give some texture and some different color. You'll see some fabric and some felt and some burlap, and I'm also using my paint markers, and we're going to do different designs on here, and you can just go at it however you want it to look. once you've got all your hearts designed and decorated the way you want them for your piece, then I just kind of laid them out, kind of staggering the direction the hearts were in and the colors and the textures, and then I will hot glue them on. And this just looks really cute on my wall. It also looks really cute behind my tiered tray. And here we are, all complete. Look how sweet and cute this looks. Super easy and very budget friendly. I think the whole thing cost me less than $3. I love it so, so much, and I hope that you do too.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really do enjoy our time together. Now, since you stayed to the very end, I'm going to give you a hint on one of the projects that we're going to be doing next week. So for that project, you're going to need some fabric of some Valentine's consistency. It could be pink or white or red. You're going to need a dowel or a skewer. You'll need some 1-inch cubes or the little tiny cubes from Dollar Tree. You'll need some beads, either ones that are already red or ones that you can paint red. And you'll also need a little bit of pillow fluff. But until then, make it a great day and happy Tuesday!